cheese. This is going to be a cheesy subconscious fat video here today because cheese has a lot of controversy. Okay, there's one debate with cheese that, or dairy in general, milk especially. A lot of scientists, PhDs argue adult humans should not drink milk, and in a way, that is correct. Milk is a food that's utilized to help a mammal grow, including humans. We drink breast milk as babies, right? So, milk does help us grow. Many children can tolerate regular milk with no issues, raw milk, regular milk, no issues. And then when they get older, they become lactose intolerant. That's kind of what happened to me. Started noticing in my 30s, like, the milk was giving me tummy trouble. So there's a lot of controversy with that. And then there's a lot of other people who say, no, milk is so super healthy. It helps you grow. And as adults, we should still consume it. And here's the reality: your gut, your own body, your own innate intelligence has a very strong vote on whether you should drink milk or not, whether you should eat cheese or not. And there's just a lot of controversy, lots of debate, and it's going to be endless because different people tolerate different things. And so this is what I'm going to get into today. Now, I do eat a fair amount of cheese, yet I'm lactose intolerant. If I drink regular milk, it's a problem. If I drink raw milk, it's not a problem. If I eat yogurt, it's okay. If I eat hard cheeses, no problem. Soft cheeses, yeah, some of them. If it's melted cheese, though, I can't do that. I need to take a lactose enzyme. So everybody is a little bit different, and this is the key to realizing how we should use cheese in our diets, and especially for men over 40 as we age. What amounts of cheese and dairy should we use? So we're going to dive right into it.
Here's a chart that shows for lactose intolerance. And you can see that generally speaking, low lactose cheeses tend to be harder. So the harder the cheese, typically, the easier it's going to be for someone who's lactose intolerant. Um, However, I sometimes will eat blue cheese and I get a reaction. So you have to be careful here. Then cheeses that tend to have high lactose, mozzarella, cottage cheese, um, camembert cheese, not really familiar with that, ricotta cheese, feta cheese, cheese spreads. I sometimes will eat feta cheese and it's no problem for me. But the cheese spreads, when it's that soft, then that usually becomes a problem for me. So the thing here too to be aware of is that it's not just whether the cheese is hard or soft. I believe it's also how much cheese have you eaten lately. If you eat too much cheese all at once, just a pure amount of cheese, whether it's hard or not, could make you then more lactose sensitive. So these are all things to be aware of. And when it comes to yogurt, overall, Greek yogurt is going to be better in every way. There's no downside to Greek yogurt. Now, some people will say, oh, but look at the calories, more calories. Well, remember, calorie counting is a waste of time, and we're not a perfect thermodynamic dynamic machine. We are a living, breathing being, and we digest calories differently depending whether it's protein or not. So don't worry about the calories. Greek yogurt has more fat, which is good. I would argue that's good. More protein, a lot of people agree that's good. Less carbs, that's also good. Less sugar, that's good. Um, Calcium, not too different, maybe a little bit less calcium, probiotics. But the main thing being, and this chart doesn't show it, I couldn't find any that say it, but in general, Greek yogurt has also less lactose. And it's a lot of people who are lactose intolerant can tolerate Greek yogurt but not traditional yogurt. So something to be aware of with the yogurt.
So here's an example of whole milk Greek yogurt. This is a type of yogurt that I buy. It's plain. You want to get plain because if you get milk, vanilla, blueberry flavor, whatever flavor it is, then you're going to look back here and it's going to have extra sugar. Here, total sugar 6 includes 0 added sugars. But if you get any flavored, anything beyond plain, it's going to have more sugar. Not good. You want to avoid the extra sugar. So the ideal is get the Greek yogurt, whole milk, full fat. Remember, fat is good for you. More calorie, you get 9 calories of energy with fat. It's better for you. Your body builds itself with the fat that you eat. So you want the good whole milk fat. Get the Greek yogurt, make it plain. So here I'm eating some soft ripened brie cheese. This is considered to be soft cheese. And I can tolerate this. I don't need to take an lactose enzyme pill with this. And I'm going to eat this with dark chocolate. I freaking love dark chocolate with cheese. It's absolutely delicious. Now, why am I doing this? Because the cheese, the calcium in the cheese binds with the oxalates in the dark chocolate, which is a plant toxin. Dark chocolate, as delicious as it is, has toxins. It's a plant. It wants to live, doesn't want to be eaten. And so they have oxalates, and the calcium binds to the oxalate. This is also why when you eat spinach, it's great to eat it with cheese. I'm not a big fan of spinach to begin with. You shouldn't really eat spinach. But if you do, if you eat it with cheese, at least you decrease the oxalate load into the body. Another interesting thing, like I said earlier, the harder the cheese, the less lactose typically. Hard cheeses have less lactose, but downside is that hard cheeses tend to constipate you more. So that's another issue I have. Sometimes I've suffered with constipation, and I've noticed it's not so much the meat or being carnivore, it's more the cheese. The cheese like gets me stuck. Think about this. Cheese has like no fiber at all, which is fine because it has a lot of fat. And as I've mentioned before, fat flows. Fat helps digestion flow better, like oil, grease, like greasing it up, getting things to run through. And sometimes fiber doesn't really help anyway because fiber is just like adding more cars to a traffic jam. So, but the point is that cheese has 0 fiber, more fat, but it still gets a lot of people constipated. So, what do? Well, one of the solutions I have found is that when I eat a fair amount of hard cheese, like in between pieces of hard cheese, or let's say I'm eating cheese with like a piece of salami, whatever, some meat, I will eat some pitted prunes. Now, prunes, for me especially, they just make me go. And if I eat one little piece of prune in between after 2 or 3 pieces of cheese, then this just keeps things softer and I can go to the bathroom much better. So be aware of that. You can eat something like pitted prunes in between the cheese bites to help if constipation is an issue for you. However, if the cheese is more soft, like brie, you can probably tolerate it. I do. Some people can because it's softer, but because it's softer, it's not going to constipate you as much. So you got to weigh these things out. You got to figure your body out, which is what we should be doing anyway. There's no set rule for everyone. And one final thing I want to mention with cheese is the idea of cheese crisps. Now, this is just awesome. Why? Because I can take this out. It's cheese that doesn't need to be refrigerated. So they're little, they come in little chips like this. Very, very flavorful. Absolutely super flavorful. Very tasty. I get these at Aldi's supermarkets, which are all over the United States. And I prefer the Parmesan cheese. Why? Because the Parmesan cheese crisp has no coloring. The cheddar cheese does have coloring, and I like to avoid that. So if you're out and about and you don't have refrigeration, you can eat like a beef stick with some cheese crisps. It's just awesome. So this is very, very critical, especially for men over 40 who are traveling, don't have time to always eat the best way. You want to have these snacks like good beef sticks and cheese crisps to really help you get through the day so that you're not starving and so that you're getting enough protein to continue to build the muscle. In any case, thank you for watching this edition of Subconscious Fat. I'll be back on Thursday with Mr. Skeptical, and then Monday with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.